So, Jason, right here, I have some Boliviars. These are, of course, the currency of Venezuela during my time there when I went there with Jeff Berwick, the dollar vigilante. And right now, it is more economical to wipe your buttocks with these things than it is actually buying toilet paper with these things. You're saving money wiping your butt with money rather than spending it on toilet paper. That's the current state of what is happening financially in Venezuela. We're going to get into that plus a lot more with this story from the Associated Press that is titled, quote, "Nonprofits Turn to Cryptocurrency to Help Needy Venezuelans." And this is an incredible story, and I believe it highlights how important and how prevalent the black market is and how impossible it is for governments to stop. On that note, before we get into this story, our friend Jeff Berwick, the dollar vigilante, the man that I've been to Venezuela with, also has a new newsletter. Jason, do you want to tell us about this plus more?
Yeah, so check it out. Jeff Berwick, Dollar Vigilante. He's going to tell you everything crypto. If you're a guy like me, you're kind of new to the game or you just kind of dabble, report on it, don't know the difference really, whether I should be investing in maybe Litecoin or one of the other alternative coins. This guy's going to tell you where the market's at. He knows, he lives and breathes this stuff. And as we get into this story, you really understand the power of all these different cryptos, because we're not even talking about Bitcoin as the major point in the story. We're talking about another coin called EOS. And honestly, if I wasn't involved with We Are Change and their knowledge of the crypto community, I would be really at a lack of knowing what's going on. And Jeff Berwick does a great job of breaking this stuff down. So please, 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 we're going to have the link in the description below. He does a great job of breaking down the basics and bringing the informed masses the very latest intricacies on cryptocurrencies, Luke.
Yeah, it's definitely complicated. It's not just internet nerd money. It's far more sophisticated than that, as this story by the Associated Press points out. And this story starts off talking about a woman and her family. Her name was Adriana Cordora, and she talks about how her and her children were forced to skip meals, were forced to only eat a diet of rice, beans, and pasta, and starve, essentially. And have very, very strong financial difficulties, mainly because of the hyperinflation that was happening and still is happening in Venezuela. There was a 3-month trial program that donated a small amount, $7 a week, of EOS cryptocurrencies to that family, which this family says that they were incredibly grateful for because the children were being malnutritioned. She said, quote, "We finally got to eat chicken," Cordero said, and there was also vegetables for the kids. And she was extremely happy with this trial run where a small amount of cryptocurrencies went to this family as a donation. And when you look at the cryptocurrency community, when you look at this larger blockchain community, there is a lot of charity. There is a lot of giving. It is an extremely giving group, and there's a number of initiatives and programs that actually do help lift people out of poverty and empower people with money that people could make on their computers. And now you can make it in so many different ways. You can make it with Steemit. You can make it with Brave. By the way, we set up a Brave link, which you guys could actually download. You guys could actually earn cryptocurrencies by using a privacy-focused browser, and then you gain the cryptocurrency for just using this platform. There's even a program here where you could specifically choose what ads are relevant to you. And when you watch those ads, you actually get paid out with crypto. A small percentage, a referral, goes to us, and you support independent media by supporting Brave. Steemit is another kind of Reddit social media aspect where people get Steem cryptocurrencies for using the platform. So there's a number of initiatives out there that don't cost anything, but allow people to get into the crypto game. And then you could take your Brave tokens. You could take, I think it's another token. I forgot the exact name of it. You could take your Steem coins and you could transfer them to Bitcoin. You could transfer them to US dollars. You could transfer them to your bank. There's so many different possibilities. But look where the people of Venezuela were left with. Look what the choices that they were given. The Venezuelan government failed them. The U.S. government wants to bomb them and take over their government. The people are like, how are we going to survive? And they're literally turning to cryptocurrencies in the Bitcoin community, and it's having a very big positive effect with this program ending, but other programs starting very soon in that country that will help people out tremendously, Jason. This is huge, and this should be news everywhere, in my opinion.
Well, one of the other really crazy aspects of this is that although cryptocurrencies, and we warn about this all the time, they're pretty volatile. You know, Bitcoin almost peaking at $20,000 about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And now, you know, going all the way down to under 5,000. I think it might even hit 3 at one point. Don't quote me on that one. But now we're up around 8, and people are talking about 10 as a stable number. So that's not the most stable of currencies. Guess what? It's way more stable than the Venezuelan currencies out there. And people there are using it to hedge their bets. A separate woman who was basically having to buy in bulk in these marketplaces used to really rush because they weren't sure how long a bolivar was going to be worth that much. So they're like, man, should we stock up now? Now using cryptocurrencies and empowering themselves through technology, a lot of these people are using phones, just apps on phones, Luke. They're not even using a desktop or a laptop for these transactions. She's able to wait, get rid of her product, and then still negotiate a better price because she's working with crypto. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. And by the way, some estimates have it at 67,000%, the percentage of inflation that happens yearly in Venezuela. Some people say more. Again, like if you watch me and Jeff Berwick's video in Venezuela, literally, I had an entire book bag filled of these bolivars. I had to have money down my pants because, again, you could go to Venezuela and for very little, you could live like a millionaire. But at the same time, you have a huge target on your back because at the time me and Jeff Berwick went, it was the murder capital of the world. Jason, try to play a little bit of that B-roll as I kind of talk over this just a little bit here. But people need to understand here, the bigger aspect of this story is that this is a totally black market. In Venezuela, if you used to mine Bitcoin, mine cryptocurrencies, what would happen is the police would look at the electricity bill, look at where the electricity is surging in its usage, and literally come down your house and arrest you and extort you for money for trying to use cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Bitcoin was mainly underground when me and Jeff Berwick were there just a few years ago, and it was insane. It was absolutely crazy, the situation that people had to be forced to live in because of just how incompetent the government is. Now, of course, we don't advocate a coup d'etat. We don't think the U.S. solution in Venezuela is going to lead to something positive. It's doing the complete opposite. What the U.S. and John Bolton is doing is actually emboldening and making Maduro more popular, making him stay in office longer and creating more government waste and more just absolute idiotic decisions by government. That's what's happening from my analysis, my point of view from everything that I've been following there. But Jason, this shows you, it doesn't matter what the government says. It doesn't matter if if the police are going to go after you for mining cryptocurrencies. They're, trying to arrest you, trying to extort you for trying to find a solution outside of the Bolivia problem, because it still shows you that, people are just going to download an app and they're going to start using EOS. They're going to start using cryptocurrencies like Dash and Monero and Zcash, which are privacy-focused cryptocurrencies, which, again, allow people to live and make sure that their children are not going through malnutrition. And again, the Venezuelan government also has plans to create its own kind of cryptocurrency based on the oil reserves. That, of course, will be tracked, traced, and databased by the Venezuelan government. But this is why so many people are turning towards cryptocurrencies, because I believe it is unavoidable in the future. And there is a fight happening right now, whether it will be focused on privacy, on freedom, on aspects like this that provide help and charity to individuals without any government help or intervention, since government does not do that. They do the opposite of that. Or the other aspect of it is a cryptocurrency backed by government that tracks, traces, watches you, taxes you, collects money and revenue from you for a corrupt state like the one that is existing right now in Venezuela. That's the two situations that are unfolding right now in this Wild West cryptocurrency, very unstable space, but as it's proving, a lot more stable and a lot better than the solutions and alternatives and options that the people in Venezuela have. That's my take on it. Jason, anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't also talk about another aspect of this article. As I talked about earlier, Syrian refugees were actually helped through a organization called BitNation in Europe. Now, they raised a ton of crypto and actually helped through the World Food Program, okay? Here's the one issue. Now, we already know that we're kind of going into this cashless society with using these cryptocurrencies. Well, how did these Syrian refugees with no bank accounts, no identification, actually get their food? Well, they had their iris scanned. They had their biometrics taken. And that is worrisome. They do that. It's been standard practice for well over a decade, well over 15 years in Iraq, that they actually take people's biometric data to try to, figure out who the insurgents or the terrorists are. But, it's a double-edged sword. These people wouldn't have food otherwise. And I think on the large part, crypto is being used in a positive manner here. And that's why it's so important to know the different aspects of this stuff. And like we said earlier in the broadcast, Jeff Berwick, who's worked with us in the past, will work with us in the future, is doing a great newsletter. The link will be in the description below. Please go check that out. Share this on social media. Thumbs the video up and get out there and be the change you want to see in the world.